Hello there in YouTube land.
Welcome back.
Today we decided that it would be fun to do a Get Ready With Me while we discuss some new stuff that we're going to be doing with the channel. And like, you know, since we're into happy time with like Halloween.
It's our favorite time of year. We just get really inspired. I mean, we're a lot of inspired books.
We've been reading, like, spooky books, and we've started, like, our, like, before Halloween, like, super horror film watching, like, you know, stuff, so...
Did you know Halloween Wars was on Food Channel the other day?
No!
They have started it already. It's
That's awesome.
Like
yes, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Halloween Wars and Halloween baking challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can watch that all day.
Now, if we were good enough to do that stuff, we'd record it, but we... are not that good. We can make good food, but we are not good enough at sculpting foodstuffs.
Can you imagine trying sugar? Like the melted sugar? I would probably end up in the hospital.
Probably.
I would end up in the hospital. I know I would.
Chocolate, we could maybe do something with.
Yeah.
And I've made cakes before, so we could make some fun cakes. But nothing like, you know, the stuff you're going to see, like, Jacques Torres make or anything like that.
No.
We are not that good. We wish we were, but we are not.
We made a cake last year that had, like, you get the little, like, edible eyes.
Yeah.
So you put them in different positions all over a chocolate cake. It looks kind of fun.
And I've made bat cakes several years. You get, like, the rounds, you make your cake rounds.
Yeah.
And then you just, like, have the circle in the middle, and then the other cake you cut into the wing shapes and ears. So then you put your little triangle ears on the top of the circle, and your little batty wings out to the side, and you paint them with chocolate icing, and there you go, you have your bat cake. That's our speed.
I make bat cookies. So I have little, it's actually like a chocolate molasses spice cookie.
Ooh. That sounds good.
And you just use your cookie cutter and create from there. So soon that will be happening. And then
some year I'd like to like really get into like royal icing and like do some painting on cookies, because I've never actually done painting on cookies. I've, you know, done the like fill in the areas, but you can do kind of like a watercolor type thing. Mm-hmm. And I always thought that would be like super fun.
We used to do that when I was a kid with Christmas cookies.
Oh, that would be cool. We may have to do some experimentations.
We would kind of paint them and then, you know, use the, like the glitter, the edible glitter and stuff like that.
That would be super fun.
Yeah, we're kind of getting in the mood now to go for drives. You know, it's getting cooler out. We don't have a lot of leaf color yet.
We're hoping we get some really pretty coverage so we can, you know, really take some pretty pictures and that type of thing. Some years in West Virginia we have beautiful leaves, other years not so much. It kind of depends. Some years it jumps straight from summer to winter and all the leaves drop off the trees green.
In a week.
Yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see what we have this year. I love the years where we actually have, like, a real traditional fall.
Unfortunately, with all of the restrictions this year, they're not going to be doing trick-or-treat or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that we aren't going to be celebrating Halloween and autumn and everything else. We just do it a little bit differently.
Yeah, which, you know, since neither Tabby nor I have children, it's not much different anyway than what we normally do. We can't do a big Halloween party or anything, but we can still do things ourselves, watch movies, make stuff. I really want to get into resin work.
I like resin work. I also want to get into kind of the mosaic glass.
Oh, that would be fun. I've always wanted to learn how to do that.
One thing I have started doing, though, and it's been since March, I've done some bonsai.
That's fun. I've never done bonsai. I have an aunt that did some, but she took a class in it and that type of thing. But but I've never actually done bonsai myself. Brush.
Yeah, there's something very massage-like about a makeup sponge.
Back when I was learning how to do makeup, the only thing we had were those, like, we either had the, like, foam rounds, or we had the makeup wedges, and I usually use the wedges to put on foundation and stuff, because I got better coverage than with trying to use the rounds, because the rounds always tend to bounce off my fingers weird, and I would drop them everywhere. That's kind of funny.
Kind of the different things that we're thinking about for the channel is, you know, the month of October we did vampires last year. So this year we thought, what comes with vampires? Werewolves.
And, you know, we love werewolves, werewolf movies, werewolf books. So we're going to talk about all that. We're going to get into some werewolf music. Because there are a few songs that are about werewolves. There's not many, but there's a few.
And we're also going to do kind of our basic folklore, too. And then, per tradition, we have ghost stories coming up for you guys as well.
Yes. And, well, ghost stories are fun. And this year, we won't have just one dragon, we'll have two. So that's fun. Just Tabby found me another dragon.
That's been a hard time trying to find those.
They're these art candle holders that were made by an artist named Jason Cristobal, and he produced these works under the name Matchless Grove. And Matchless Grove was sold under an old candle company called Wicks and Sticks. They were a chain around the United States. They had, you know, stores in all the malls and that type of thing. And they went out in, like, 1984, I think it is. And, but Matchless Grove stopped roughly 1982. So we're talking, you know, what, 30-some-year-old items to try and find. And so it's a once in a blue moon you stumble across it on an auction site type thing.
And, you know, sometimes you can afford it, sometimes you cannot, because some of these things get quite expensive.
Which is understandable.
Because of their antique nature.
So that's some of the fun stuff that we kind of collect. We get into a lot of, like, really unique, different works made by different artists and that type of thing. We like art.
The fun thing this year is, so we always have been on the hunt for Danny's dragons, and I've been on the hunt for a dragon myself, and lo and behold, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
Pops up on an auction site, just out of nowhere.
So you've been looking for this one for how long?
1999?
Yeah.
I think is when I started the actual collection of them. They are what we call the Windstone collection, the Penna Dragons. And they're in a very specific color scheme that is not made anymore. So I was lucky enough to win that auction.
Now, Tabby has her big dragon. You also managed to get a Pegasus that you had wanted for years this year.
Yeah, that, oh my gosh, I saw that when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And it was so strange. Of all places, Amazon.
You know, you never know where you're going to stumble across these things.
But it was the only Pegasus unicorn plush animal, and a very tiny tabby wanted it. But unfortunately, when my mom went to go get it for my birthday, they had sold it. So.
It was a quest.
Yes, I found the elusive unicorn.
Yes. So, Tabby and I tend to go on quests.
Especially for things that we've seen, you know, way back in our childhood.
And it's fun. You know, it's not the same old, like, well, let's just go get this gift because, you know, everybody likes it. We tend to really hunt for things.
We do. It's kind of funny. It's like every now and again we will, you know, just randomly type in the name of it and see what we can find.
Like, one of the other things that I tend to search for a lot are antique point shoes. And specifically by a brand called Selva. In the, like, late 1970s, early 1980s, Selva was one of the most popular brands of dance shoes in the United States. They rivaled Capezio for anyone that wants to get down this nerdy direction. But and I can wax poetic on this stuff for ages. But at any rate, Selva made their shoes in the old Italian way. So, you know, you have natural glues, satin, different, like, strengths of board, and leather. That's what the shoes are made out of. And sometimes when you find them, they're completely trashed. Other times you actually find them unworn, and the glue's actually still hard enough to where it still looks like a point shoe.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you could not remotely risk trying to dance in them because the glues are very brittle and will break, and you'd probably break your ankle trying to dance in these old shoes. But it's really interesting that you can still find these things once in a while. So there's another little nerdy bit.
And if you're new to the channel, many moons ago, Danny and I were both actually ballet dancers.
Yes. Believe it or not.
We didn't actually know each other then.
No!
But the funny thing is the last ballet that I danced in and the last ballet that Danny danced in was Sleeping Beauty.
And we both played a Blue Fairy.
Yeah.
Figure that one out. Totally different parts of the country, too.
Completely different parts of the country, actually.
So it's just been kind of interesting with mine and Tabby's friendship over the years. We've discovered that we have all these different little parallels. And, you know, she and I, you know, have always been obsessed with vampires. And we always have, like, this love of witches and knowledge of the occult and loving horror films. And then the girly side, we do ballet.
Yeah. I did ballet. You know, I did actually English horseback riding, so...
I never did the horseback riding. I would have loved to, but I unfortunately am horrifically allergic to hay.
And, well, that's a problem in the horse world.
Yeah. But we both grew up loving animals. At one point, we both wanted to be veterinarians. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We should have been born twins, I think.
Probably. Then, I mean, I was actually all the way through college thinking about being a veterinarian. And then, I think in the last year, I got bit by the research bug, so...
I'm glad she did, though. Tabby does some really, really important research. She does some really, really important stuff with National Institutes of Occupational Safety and Health. So she's a cool scientist, and we like science. What you don't know about her, though, is that she can draw amazing vines.
Maybe someday we'll show that. More towards Halloween.
Yeah. Because we're just still now getting close. But we're almost there. I have my boxes of Count Chocula.
I actually started. It takes me days to decorate. Days. It's a massive ordeal in my house. But I started getting down a lot of the boxes.
That's cool.
Much to my husband's dismay.
I just put Ryan to work. It's good for him. Once in a blue moon, we'll be able to drag Tabby's husband into watching some of our cheesy movies with us. Not often, but once in a while.
Once in a while.
We did make him watch Vampire Trailer Park. And that was funny.
It's funny, too, because he was about 3 sheets to the wind when he watched it.
And he kept saying the entire time, boy, this movie sucks, and he'd continue watching it for another half an hour.
Yeah!
It was great.
That was a good day. I really should have YouTubed that.
Yeah, you
Way
should
back
have.
when.
Yeah. Another thing that was really funny is that several years ago, the Pittsburgh Ballet did a production of Dracula.
Oh, God.
And so, because Tabby and I are huge ballet nuts, and then plus Dracula, we had to go. Well, we dragged Ryan to this. This was the first live ballet he'd ever seen.
Consequently, it was not the best of productions and choreography, so it was the last ballet he ever saw.
Yeah. We keep telling him we will take him to a good ballet at some point. But there haven't been any big companies come to our area. So I guess one of these days we'll have to drag him up to New York or something.
Yeah. Shame.
Yeah, that'd be such a horrible trip. Oh, there's so much stuff we can't do in New York. Har har.
Yeah, really. I've always wanted to see New York in the winter.
That's one thing I'm always kind of jealous about. My editor with City Owl Press lives up in New York. And she posts all these cool pictures of things she gets to do and stuff. And I'm always so jealous of the neat stuff she does. And she, of course, has given an open invitation anytime I want to go up there. But it's the finding the ability, and then plus, right now, nobody can really travel anywhere.
There's that. The, not being able to travel is really, we get it. We do.
Yeah.
Don't worry
It's just
about that, but
mostly I think everyone is ready to get back in the swing of things. And it's hard. It's hard not being able to really live your life.
yeah.
Because, and God forbid we don't want anyone to get sick and that type of thing. But it's just, this whole pandemic has so many ramifications to it that you wouldn't necessarily immediately think of.
You don't think about it until you can't do it.
Yeah.
That's the key that I've really figured out with it. It's just, the things of, oh, I'm going to go do this. Yeah, about that.
Like travel. I love to travel. I know Tabby loves to travel. But it is so hard. And, the fact that it's not very safe to travel right now. Especially since, cases are on the rise again. It's a shame that worldwide we're all kind of stuck.
Yes.
So we have one funny thing coming up on the channel in November. And you all are probably going to laugh uproariously because this is going to be entertaining. My dad, 74-year-old Marine father, has agreed to let Tabby and I turn him goth.
Think about that.
Yeah. So that should be really and truly fun. The hardest part, actually, is going to be finding clothes to put on him. Besides just, like, regular black clothing. Because my dad...
He is not,
He was a football player in high
Yeah.
school. So he 6'1", has great big wide shoulders. And so this is going to be interesting.
It's going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Especially since, most, branded Gothic clothing is made for people that are very, very slender and small in stature. So, you figure your average Gothic male model is probably about 6 feet tall, but probably wears, a size 30 pants.
Yeah.
So, whereas my dad is 6'1", but was designed to pull plow without the horse.
Yeah. Which, Germanic blood.
Yeah.
We all have a little bit of that.
Yes, we do.
I can look at bread and it just speaks to me.
Yeah. One thing that at some point that Teddy and I do plan on doing is where we film in my office has the most uncomfortable floor in the world. We're talking every time we film, our legs go numb.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether we sit on the floor, whether we use chairs. It's the way the floor kind of tips. And so we're trying to come up with a new arrangement in the office that will enable us to be a bit more comfortable.
Just a little. I have a, So Danny corrects a lot
Makeup
with...
wipe?
Yeah. With concealer, I correct with makeup wipes.
There we go.
Thank you.
No problem. And that's something we've talked about on the channel before, is that everybody kind of has their own different style. And, just as long as you get the result you want, there is no wrong or right.
There's just, hey, you look normal, and yee.
Yeah.
That's not what I was going for today. But, we'll roll with it.
There are some days where stuff just does not work right. And that goes for everybody.
We have a lot of those days.
Yeah.
Truly.
Today is not a good eyebrow day for me.
So the other thing that we are thinking about, we're going to be uploading a couple of times a week in October, and probably starting that pretty regularly then. But we're not going to tell you what we're uploading yet.
No.
That's going to be a bit of a surprise.
And surprises are fun.
Yeah, they are.
The other thing I've been doing lately is I watched the Paris Hilton documentary.
How was that?
Very interesting. Some of the stuff that lady went through is truly a shame. And, for those that haven't seen the documentary yet, when she was a teenager, she was actually sent to one of those, disciplinary, high school, boarding school type things that were really popular in the 90s. And later on, they were discovered to be horribly abusive in most cases and that type of thing. And, she talks about the stuff that she went through when she was going to the one that she did, which is horrific. And how it kind of affected how she has lived her life. And, it was kind of interesting seeing a totally different side of this person that her public persona has always been, kind of the ditzy blonde and all that other stuff, when in reality, she is actually brilliant, if you hadn't known. She can do, statistics off the top of her head that'll just blow your mind.
I'd be amazed at how many You know, there are personalities on television, and they are not the true person.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a persona, which, you know, and the same thing goes for pretty much anything in media. You're never going to see the real people on a camera. You know, I don't care if they call it reality TV or whatever they're going to call it. There's always some part of it that's script.
Oh, yeah. That just is what it is.
Yeah, it's part of the whole nature of the entertainment industry in general.
I mean, even to an extent, you know, we talk about just movies and television, but even, you know, YouTube and stuff like that, you really don't know the true person.
Mm-mm. And people can be putting on this, like, air of, you know, everything's wonderful, everything's fine, and then you find out that they have been going through, like, a horrible, like, situation at home, or they're sick, or whatever, and it's just kind of, I think for a lot of people, media and social media is an escape to pretend to be who they want to be versus who they actually are.
Yes. So what was your favorite werewolf movie growing up?
Oh, I have two favorite werewolf movies. And they're both 1980s films, which I'm sure is not a big surprise to you. But I absolutely loved American Werewolf in London and The Howling. The Howling...
I like The Howling.
Probably... Well, I won't say more, but there's things with The Howling that I think make it much more of a horror film, whereas American Werewolf in London, it has that comedy element to it.
It does. It has, you know, just different elements in general to the werewolf.
But in terms of makeup design, I think The Howling is creepier.
I think in a way it's a little bit more what you think of when you think of a werewolf. And I think Dog Soldiers has that too.
It does. It does. And Dog Soldiers is fun because it's not an American film. And, you know, I think there's too much reliance on America being the be-all and end-all film, because there are a lot of really amazing films made around the world. It's not just America that makes cool films.
There's a lot of cool films, and like for me, where I get the disconnect between werewolf is you think about, you know, the Hollywood werewolf. He's kind of grr, the monster, you know, gonna kill you. When not all werewolves were like that. And that's something that we're really going to kind of get into next month, is some of the other myths of the werewolf that are maybe not what you expect to hear.
Yes. Because, well, werewolves are cool. They are.
They really are. I mean, they're really cool.
The fact that, you know, in and of itself, this whole idea of a shapeshifter is unique and different and has basis in so many different cultures.
Yes.
But we're concentrating solely on werewolves. Because, well, honestly, we'll be talking about shapeshifters at another point, like, because we have to do every single monster known to man.
There will be Halloweens to come.
one thing I have not gotten to do yet that I keep planning on doing is going to Spirit Halloween, because they've opened the store in town.
They have. I don't care if I have to wear a mask.
Yeah, I gotta go.
No, I need to actually go to Spirit. Take a look at what, they kind of have this year. Because that will inevitably put us further in the mood for Halloween.
Yes. Gotta have more Halloween all the time.
If I could, I think I would have like a dedicated room in my house for Halloween.
The thing that I thought was really fun was there was a meme not that long ago that was going around on the internet that was like, why don't we just have Halloween for every month of the year? There was like Winterween and all this stuff.
Now granted, I'm a goth that likes Christmas too, so...
Yes. That's the time for being a white goth. Where you do, like, the sparkly little things, and, like, wear all white clothing, and have, like, sprigs of ice in your hair, and
maybe
like
some black accents.
Yeah. What that was.
It said we reached our limit.
Oh, okay. It's a good thing I paused then, because we can start again.
And we are.
Shit. There's part of me that's tempted to keep that in there.
Hey, we keep it real. This is getting
yeah. Well, I mean, truthfully, as much as Tabby and I would like to be elegant enough to create personas on camera, that's not what's happening.
This is what you get, sweetheart. This is it. Sorry.
Literally. If you want to come hang out with us, this is what it's going to be like. It's going to be mostly disorganized, rambling, and when things go wrong, we laugh.
We have a couple of viewers that do, in fact, hang out with us.
Yes.
They can attest to that.
Yes, they can.
Oh. So I was so thrilled this morning. I got up and it was in the 50s.
I'm so ready for all the, like, cooler weather and everything.
I don't want to see the 80s again.
No. Or as they would say in Russia, "Niet."
Yeah, niet. Oh. It's going to be a weird lipstick day, too.
Yeah. I'm having issues myself.
Which is normal for me to have issues.
I think it's normal for all of us to have issues.
I think sometimes my issues have issues.
It's gremlins. We have gremlins.
Yes.
Lots of gremlins.
Convinced we have quite a few gremlins, actually.
Like, yes, we do not have ghosts, we have gremlins.
Imps, I think, too. They're mischievous.
They skip.
Yeah.
We're skipping them. I'm pretty sure of it. So the other cool thing I saw online recently is there's a goth YouTuber called It's Black Friday. And she actually did a DIY Ouija board. And she freehand drew this whole border with these, like, really intricate skeletons and stuff.
Ooh.
And I was just like, holy shit! Because, you know, while I have, like, an art background and stuff, I've not been able to do something like that, to that level. And for me, it's always, like, really cool and fascinating to watch somebody who has the artistic aptitude be able to do that.
Borders are not easy to draw.
No, they're
They
not.
are time-consuming. They take forever.
And she also, like, did the, like, all the lettering. She drew it out first, and then she painted it, so it wasn't just straight calligraphy. And it was just highly impressive.
Check it out.
Yeah,
Seriously.
totally. It blew my mind.
The talent that you can find
yes,
out there in the world is just, astounding.
And I think a lot of people kind of get the idea that art's something that's going to always be around, and, you know, they get upset if an artist asks for a certain amount of money to be for their work, but without art...
You're not going to get much.
No. And
in terms of culture, without its artistic...
Exactly. And so, you know, an artist knows why they set the prices they do. Mm-hmm. Don't question the price that the artist sets their work.
Yeah. Well,
no.
They know the amount of time they put in on that.
Exactly.
I mean, for me, I just started a vine work border. I've spent a week on it already, and it's not even...
It's really cool, though. It has bats and acorns and lantern flowers, and she's really good.
You'll see the finished product.
Yes.
Maybe next Halloween when it's actually done.
So we hope you enjoyed this Get Ready With Us, because we had fun talking to you and to each other. And we'll be seeing you soon.
For all of our other goodies.